Hello, this is Joe Sonona, and welcome to Coffee Talk with the listing pros in real estate. And this is Sonona Speaks Seminars. How are you? Perry Pappas from Century 21 American Homes. I'm so excited. I got all tongue twisted at the beginning, but I finally got the man, the myth, and my former student here in front of me. How are you?
Good, Joe. How's everything going with you?
I'm great. I'm great. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
So, well, for starters, my name is Perry Pappas with Century 21. Actually, I was just thinking about this today. So this month actually marks my 6th year in the business. Met you, Joe. You were my real estate instructor at, I think, Hofstra University. 2014 at some point. I think it was like a summer program. And which was really just such a huge turning point in my life. It was funny because I was talking to somebody about this today. I took that course with no knowledge plan. People are talking about $1 Million Listing and all these other shows. I had no idea what was going on, even when I got my license. And it just goes to show you that as long as you apply yourself and you put in the work, things can happen.
Well, I remember you. And I can actually describe it, not in greater detail, but I can remember you in the back of the classroom.
Yeah.
And not knowing to myself if, as an instructor, you can tell the students that are going to really come out of the box, out of the gate, and I was so like, I can't read this guy. I don't know if he's listening. I don't know if I'm boring to him. I don't know. And you would be like, one of the first people to be into the classroom. You would be in, and you were with another colleague of ours, Kerry Cronin from Coach Real Estate, who is also a top listing pro, and I'm going to get her on this program too.
Oh, wow.
But I remember you and she in the same, and she was asking all the questions, and you were just sitting there nonchalant, just chilling. And I'm like, is this guy going to do it? Is he going to do it or not? And then about a year after, I think during the course of the year, you came out of nowhere and you started to list property like there was no tomorrow.
I didn't do anything. Yeah, I mean, that really just boils down to like the way I was in school. And, it wasn't for me. Always just, was taught to be very respectful, things like that, show up on time. But no knowledge, preconceived notions, anything. Just went at it, and that was it. And even after I got my license, I think it was like almost 8 months until I even decided to do anything.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I hear agents now and they're like, oh, I'm interviewing brokers. And I remember when I met with Century 21, I thought I was on the interview. So it was, got all dressed up. I had, a little resume with me because I didn't know how it worked. That's how just the way it went down. But yeah, then
and then within a year, what was it? A year of productivity. And the following year, was it 14, 15, and then 18? You were awarded the top 20 under 40, but you should have gotten that award before that.
I didn't even know
you didn't apply, right? You didn't apply.
I had no idea about it. I saw an agent in my area got it, and I was like, "What's this?" And then I did my due diligence and dug into it, and I applied.
That's awesome. That really is great. It's a great success story. I know it wasn't easy, so I'll just come right out of the starting gate and ask you a question. What is your secret sauce to listing?
Well, you know what, like to bring it back as maybe as tacky as it sounds like to your real estate course and things like that you wear so many different hats. So to say that it's one thing or one secret thing, I can't really pinpoint that, but to say that it's a constant combination of things and being consistent with it, really consistency, I think, is the key, because you're going to have systems and you're in charge of your follow-up, your marketing, your economics, all these different things that you have to constantly do on top of managing your clients and their expectations and drama and everything else that's involved.
No drama. Come on.
Right. I think really what it comes down to is like consistency, just consistently working, your business and staying on top of things. So that's what I would really say for me is, and in the beginning, when I had no idea what I was doing and I didn't know how to utilize social media and things like that, I just started one day and I was like, okay, every day I'm going to get into the office by 7:30. I want to be the first one in. No idea what I was going to do at 7:30, but I just knew that I was going to come in dressed, ready to go. And little by little, things started happening. And then I started thinking about things. And then one thing led into another, into another. So, yeah, I really think consistency, because a lot of people, it's like the New Year's resolution. Oh, I'm going to get my real estate license and this is going to be great. I'm going to do one deal and I'm going to pay for my kids' tuition.
I'm going to give up smoking.
Exactly.
And then you see them with a pack of cigarettes in their hand on January 15th.
Right, sitting outside the house. Yeah, so I would really have to say consistency has been one of my pillars.
Do you have a special technology that you've been using in your listings?
Well, in listings,
yeah,
I would say. Well, for starters, I mean, one of my first, I would say, big pieces of technology was always my CRM. That was everything for me. Which controls my database, my follow-up, my deals, past clients. So that which I use is called a system called Pipedrive. Is the backbone of my business. Then I would say, as far as my listings go and things like that, I would have to say that, truthfully, social media has been such a powerful tool for marketing, like Facebook ads. It's almost scary how you could pinpoint that an ad now. So We've been really utilizing that. I would say over the past 24 months, we've had a tremendous amount of success implementing that. As well as like AdWorks digital marketing campaign and things like that. We also still utilize ads in the paper, direct mailing. We really try to use a combination of things and from new and old techniques as well.
That's great. That's awesome. And when you first started in real estate, you said it took a while to get started. Did you have mentors? Did you have people showing you the ropes?
Yeah.
When you first started, did you self-teach? Is it all self?
I started off on a team with my brokerage, which was great because then I got to do open houses. And, for a lot of people that are in this market or the market of the past, 18 months or so, completely different than it was in 15 and 16. You sit at open houses all weekend. If you were lucky, if 2 or 3 people showed up.
Now you have 300 people showing up.
Right. Now it's like you got lines out the door and you're fighting people off. I was lucky enough to have some exposure as far as that goes, and learning how to do open houses, the way to, little things here and there. But I would say a lot of it came into, honestly, just like YouTube and just being out there. It's amazing what you could find out there on the internet as far as tools and things like that. But just really getting out there and doing it has been, and you learn as you go.
Now, I know you've been given some nuggets in the last couple of minutes, but what is your advice for new agents coming into the business?
A few things.
Okay. Elaborate, please.
Okay. So relationships.
Perry, you're the teacher today. I'm the student.
Yeah. I would say definitely relationships, because even, which is a beautiful thing. In light of COVID, everybody got their real estate license. I mean, you would probably know better than me, but I always remember during your course, you said there was somewhere around 19 licensed real estate agents in Long Island, something to that magnitude.
19,000 at that time.
Yeah, 19,000, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
God knows what the number is now.
28,000.
There you go. So you have all those licensed realtors, and I think people, this is a very transactional market. You get a listing, you don't really, you don't have to know much about the market, and you're having hundreds of offers, and you're having crazy numbers over asking price, and this and that. And I think one of the most important things is that it's not going to last like this forever, and be respectful to your peers, meaning the other realtors. You can't just walk over them, because you're going to come back around and you're going to be doing business with them again. And the same thing with your clients. I see people that sometimes post on social media, sold for 70,000 over asking, and they were the buyer's agent on the deal. And I feel like that's I would say
there's something wrong with that.
Right. It's like that ties into loyalty for me for old car, if we're going to go that route. Wait,
that's the last question.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. But I feel that's how I feel. That's not respectful, because you have to educate these people. If this is your 5-year house and you're buying something 50,000 over asking,
right,
it might not hold that. It might not gain any more value. We don't know where we're going to be in 24 months.
Correct.
So, be respectful of your peers. Be respectful of your clients, because those are your foundation blocks of your business.
That's good advice. Very good advice. And what do you have as far as advice for old pros like me, if you could talk to an old pro and say, "Hey, can I give you some advice?" What would you say to that person?
Well, you're very, very active. You're out
Well, I'm
there. I
32
mean,
years in already.
yeah, yeah. But sometimes you get the agent that tells you, when they're making an offer, oh, I've been doing this for 20 years, and they haven't been doing it that much. I mean, you're in the trenches more than any of us out here. You've been doing this. I mean, you said how many years? 31?
This is my 32nd year.
32nd year. Wow. So you
Yeah,
got licensed at 11 years old.
at 11 easily.
Whatchamacallit. As far as advice, I would just say, really, especially now more than ever, you have to adapt and adjust in technology. And even if it's just talking to a younger agent in your office and just seeing, hey, what can you help me with posting this or doing this, or the right way about going about some of the technologies that can be utilized now.
Do you think a lot of them, I know a lot of older agents in the business, and when I say older, I don't mean age older. I mean, older and experienced. Being that, do you think that their stubbornness, it will be their downfall, or that their unwillingness to try new things is their downfall?
Sure. I mean, listen, if you don't, adjust, if you don't, learn to come with times, and you want to be stubborn, yeah, eventually you're going to get phased out.
Right.
That goes without saying, just because things are, especially in this business, I feel like so much has changed just in my short 6 years, let alone somebody that's been in the market for decades. Yeah, I think that
We've
you
gone
can't be
from
stubborn.
a low to a high to COVID to
Right.
a frenzy feeding, and who knows what is to come,
Yeah,
in the next 6 to 12 months. We could
absolutely.
have a low, and everybody will be like lost pretty
Right.
much, because then, especially people who haven't gone through the lows.
Yeah.
I've gone through 2 lows and 3
Oh, yeah.
highs already.
Yeah. It's like if you don't evolve, you will dissolve, and that's for anybody that's in the business for 5 minutes or 5 years or 25 years. I think nobody knows everything, and you constantly have to be educating yourself and learning more and updating your business and systems.
And should managers and broker owners follow that same advice, or is there
Absolutely.
something
Absolutely.
different for them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because even recruiting agents is a whole different ballgame. It's not just sitting outside of the testing center in Franklin Square with your business card. You got to
Horrible,
do the things there.
horrible, horrible.
Yeah,
I sit there and I go, why doesn't the Department of State clamor down on those
yeah.
people?
You
But
got
yet
to
they
do
clamor down on us for during
right.
the pandemic.
Absolutely. So yeah, it
Well, what could they
absolutely.
be doing differently, the brokers and the managers,
What could they
especially
be doing
going
differently?
into this whole post or COVID era?
I think obviously it's adding value, because a lot of younger agents and agents in general are always focused on their split and things like that, and it's the same thing as like a homeowner worrying about the percentage they're going to pay. I think they have to be worried about adding value. So they have for an agency or for a manager, you have to be providing value to your agents, the same way an agent has to provide out value to their client.
Now, you're a team leader. You've
Yeah.
risen to a team leader. And how many
Yes.
people on your team now?
We have a small team at Century 21. We've been together now since 2018. It's myself, Scarlett, Matthias, and Roger. And, we're not looking to have a huge team, just more or less a tight-knit team, and we work very well together. So, yeah, last year we were fortunate enough to do a little over 25 million in sales.
Awesome. That's
So,
great.
yeah.
How is it, as this is a new question, obviously, but the team leadership, what must a good team leader know, being that you're in the business of managing pretty much
Yeah.
people and kind of feeding leads to people and sharing things, but what does a team leader need to know in 2021?
Obviously, you have to be providing your team with leads. I think it's a different model than the brokerage model. If somebody's going to join your team, you have to be furnishing them with leads, also knowing and bracing them for what's to be expected. when you get your license, it seems like anything bad that can happen will happen. You show buyers 100 homes and then they stumble into an open house and buy one directly from the agent, whatever the story may be. So, more or less mitigating and managing that emotional roller coaster, teaching them the business from within the business.
So walk me through the process. I go and I get a lead on a seller who wants to sell their house, and I just joined your team. Do you come with me?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, I come with you, but I do not. I do not take anything with the deal. I will help you out with whatever you need. I'm there with you, and to go on the listing pitch, even help you put the deal together. And more or less a very hands-on approach I like to take with it, especially in the beginning. You don't know where your next paycheck is going to come from, so I do it because I do it as like an investment of my time into your future. So, where other people maybe have the model, I've heard of other teams where there's an extra split or a fee that you give to the team leader. I don't do anything like that. So it's more like a joint venture.
So how do you become? How is it structured then in a team? I mean, expenses have to be paid, right? Or you split it? You split it as a co-lister?
I'm sorry.
When you go out with them, are you the co-lister with them?
The first couple of deals you might have to. Now the team, they're going out on their own and they're doing things. If they need me to help out with something or go on a pitch, I'm always glad to do that.
Good.
I'm not looking to put my hands in anybody else's pocket. I'm not a greedy person in that aspect, or in any aspect, to be honest with you. And the company also gives us an override as well.
That's good.
Yeah, so Century 21 is one of the, from my experience, one of the brokerages that give an override to team leaders, and they try to promote that because they feel like teams are the next, I don't want to say future, but the next step or milestone in brokerage models.
So we don't have to worry about any artificial intelligence taking over our industry, right?
Well, maybe not yet. Who knows?
I hope not. We'll all be dead. We'll all be gone at that point.
You have to be aware. It's like, you see Zillow.
Mm-hmm.
Zillow is, the writing was on the wall for a long time, but now you read things.
Now they're real estate agents. So.
They're a real estate agency. They're buying homes, and you have other platforms like Open Door. So that's why, kind of circling back a little bit, adding value.
Right.
And why that, as a manager, broker, agent, team leader, how imperative that is to the business is that you have to be adding value. You can't be stubborn. You have to adapt and adjust and evolve. And that's what's going to make you last the test of time.
So you mentioned before loyalty and this quality of loyalty, and you did mention old car. So if I had to ask you, what would be one of your favorite qualities? Would that be loyalty in the fiduciary duties?
I mean, honestly, yeah, especially as you do more volume and in this type of market and economy, they're all very important. And sometimes people let the lines get blurred a little bit as you're doing 20, 30, 50, 60 transactions a year. And it's very important that you have to implement all of them. But yes, to me, loyalty would definitely by far be the most, I would say.
Who are you most loyal to? The seller, the buyer?
Well, whoever your fiduciaries to is who you got to be loyal to. Whoever your client is. And
well, you list a lot of houses, so I'm assuming it's the seller.
So it's my seller, exactly.
Yeah.
So whoever I'm representing in that transaction is who I'm going to be most loyal to, because this is a people business. It's a relationship business. I feel like loyalty is a human aspect, and you have to, even like I was saying before, if you have a buyer that's, really wants a house and they're going to offer something crazy over asking, I try to explain to them, yes, that might be value in today's inflated market, but what's our plan here? Is this the starter home, or is this something that you're going to be in for the next 30, 35 years?
Right.
Because then you're going to see ups and downs as far as the economy goes. So it's not just, it's being more loyal to your client and not loyal to yourself or to your paycheck. How
do you win over the loyalty of a seller when you go on a listing presentation?
Thoroughly explaining what I do and backing it up. Fortunate enough now that after, a couple of years in the business that we get a substantial amount of referrals. But when you're going on something that maybe, especially in the beginning when I was cold calling when you're allowed to cold call and door knock and things like that, just explain to them that I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. Because a lot of people, they get locked into 6-month contracts and people promise them the world to get the signature, and then it doesn't happen. And then the client gets a bad taste in their mouth from realtor. So I think explaining that I'm going to be with them throughout the entire process, giving them my word and letting them know that I'm not going to let them down, obviously in a little bit more of a tasteful manner, but explaining that to them thoroughly.
And aside from that loyalty that you're giving out, and aside from the referrals, from somebody referring you, let's say you meet somebody cold and you say, give me your loyalty. How do you win? How does Perry win over somebody's loyalty who he doesn't even know on a listing presentation? Because this is kind of like secret sauce stuff. I get it.
It's a little secret.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, if you don't want to tell it, that's fine. No, I really want to know. And so does the audience of new agents, especially because they're finding it hard today. Especially I see a lot of new agents coming into the business that don't get into the relationship aspect of the business. They want to shoot right to the transaction. Is that the secret sauce of building a relationship first? To Absolutely. Win over the loyalty? I mean,
yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, sometimes you get clients that that their perspective of it will be a transaction, whether it's a contractor or developer, something of that magnitude, but somebody that's lived in the house for 10, 15, 20 years, they're going to want that person that they're hiring and taking care of their probably largest asset, and going to be in the home with their family and things like that. Yeah, there's a relationship aspect. Absolutely. So before I'm walking through your house and we're crunching numbers and doing this, you want them to feel comfortable with you, because if they're not, the relationship always wins. If you have that relationship, you will always get the client. Mm-hmm. So without that, I don't really see how you could really do a business or do business in volume just by treating it like it's a deli counter and take your ticket and wait in line. There has to be a personal aspect of it. That's the emotional roller coaster of real estate. So
I don't know where you got all these metaphors from. Somebody must have taught you in the very beginning.
I scooped a metaphor.
You scooped up metaphors.
Yeah.
Right? I've been hearing metaphors all throughout this interview. But that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that, you've been in the business 6 years. You recognize this. You built certainly a great following in your area, your sphere of influence. You go all over. I see your name all over. And it's pretty cool to see one of my former students grown, and now he's passing off the good habits of his own building and his own building block out there, which is awesome. And I'm very proud of you. I really am.
So much,
I can't boast enough about you, mister. So
thank you.
I just want to thank you so much for finally getting on this show.
I know. I'm sorry.
You've been a little busy the last couple of
months.
Busy.
I'm a little insecure about going on camera. It's like 10, 15 pounds that I can't afford. But this coffee filter, I feel like I look phenomenal right now.
We add a little trimming style to this. Well, you certainly, on a personal note, you've had your triumphs there, and you're about to have another triumph soon. Yes. I won't mention. That's only up to you. But
my wife and I we're expecting our firstborn August 27th.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Very excited.
We'll definitely have this aired before then. So I wish you a lot of good things in your personal life, as well as your business life. And I look forward to doing more deals with you. We did some deals together so far. And it's always a pleasure, because you're working with a professional, one true professional to another. And you never have to worry. That's the best part. You never have to worry, because you know that person is doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing, you're supposed to be doing.
It's a great feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It really is. Our last deal together, that was the best feeling, because at least I knew, and I didn't have to worry about that person being pre-qualified or pre-approved. You got them from start to, and I remember at my open house, the praises that they sang about you before they even saw. They were in the kitchen, and I was about to open up the screen door. I remember where I was. I was about to open up the sliding door to the yard, and the husband says, he goes, "That Perry is such a great guy. He's very professional. He's very you gave them so much knowledge of the house before they even walked in there. And then he said, and Perry told me to tell you that he is not only your friend, but he was your student. And I'm like, and I didn't say a word. I said, and he was a very good student to boot. But it was, and that's the good thing about hearing testimonials. That was a live testimonial that man gave you. And I sat there, I was like, you know what, we're going to bring this home for this couple together.
That was a beautiful
and that's
thing.
what we do. Collaboration brings everything home. It really is.
Yeah, relationships. Really absolutely. I think that's a very important part of this process.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thank you again for being on the show. I wish you many, many years of success.
Thank you so much.
And I want to wish you and your wife good luck on the birth of your first child.
Appreciate it.
May it be a masculine child. Whatever it is, I wish you all the best. Take care. Thank you. And this is Joe Sonona with the Listing Pros in Real Estate. And my guest this week was Perry Pappas from Century 21 American Homes. Thanks, Perry.
Thanks, Joe. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.